Police found blood everywhere. But Evelyn Hartley was gone. October 24th, 1953. A quiet neighborhood in La Crosse, Wisconsin. A teenage babysitter, a sleeping child, and a crime scene so disturbing it would haunt America for decades. Police found blood inside the house, blood outside in the yard, a bloody handprint on a nearby garage wall. But 15-year-old Evelyn Hartley was gone. And more than 70 years later, nobody knows what happened to her. That Saturday evening, Evelyn Hartley left her family home for a babysitting job she had done many times before. She was only 15 years old, quiet, intelligent, responsible. The kind of girl parents trusted immediately. She even brought school books with her that night, planning to study after the baby fell asleep. Across town, a football game was taking place. Most of the neighborhood was empty. Families were out. The streets felt unusually quiet. Nobody realized a nightmare was about to begin. At around 6:30 p.m., Professor Viggo Rasmussen drove Evelyn to his house. It was the last confirmed time anyone saw her alive. Before leaving home, Evelyn promised her parents she would call later that night. Around 8:30 p.m., her father waited for the phone to ring. It never did. A few minutes later, he called the house himself. No answer. He tried again. Still nothing. At first, he assumed Evelyn was busy putting the baby to sleep. But something didn't feel right. Evelyn was dependable. She would never simply ignore the phone. By 10 p.m., her father could no longer ignore the feeling that something was wrong. So he got into his car and drove to the Rasmussen house himself. When he arrived, the neighborhood was almost completely silent. The front door was locked, but the lights inside the home were still on. So was the radio. Then he noticed something strange. A basement window screen had been removed. A ladder stood beneath the open window. Moments later, he entered the house and immediately realized something terrible had happened. Furniture had been pushed out of place. Evelyn's school books were scattered across the floor. One shoe was upstairs, the other down in the basement. Her glasses lay broken nearby, as if they had been ripped from her face during a violent struggle. Then he saw the blood. Blood on the floor. Blood near the basement window. Blood outside in the yard. And then, the detail nobody would ever forget. A bloody handprint smeared across a neighbor's garage wall nearly 100 feet away. But Evelyn Hartley was nowhere to be found. And somehow, the most disturbing detail of all was what investigators didn't find. The baby Evelyn had been babysitting was still asleep in her crib, completely unharmed. Whoever entered that house had not come for money. They had come for Evelyn. Within hours, La Crosse exploded into panic. Police officers, volunteers, college students, Boy Scouts, National Guardsmen, even aircraft joined the search. More than 2,000 people searched forests, roads, farmland, and riverbanks across Wisconsin. Bloodhounds tracked Evelyn's scent through the neighborhood, before suddenly losing it near a nearby road. Investigators believed she had likely been forced into a waiting vehicle. Planes searched from above. Divers searched rivers and ponds. Volunteers walked through fields for days. The entire town became consumed by fear. Parents stopped allowing teenagers to babysit alone at night. Doors that had once been left unlocked were suddenly bolted shut. Then came the discoveries. Investigators found blood-stained clothing outside the city, a denim jacket covered in blood, undergarments stained with blood matching Evelyn's blood type. Nearby, police discovered a pair of large size 11 sneakers. The shoes were also stained with blood. Investigators noticed something unusual. The sole pattern on the sneakers matched footprints found near the crime scene. Police believed the shoes may have belonged to the abductor. Experts even studied the wear pattern on the soles. Some theorized the owner worked around heavy machinery. Others believed he may have ridden a motorcycle regularly. But despite all the evidence, there was still no suspect, no arrest, and no body. Then witnesses began coming forward. One nearby resident later told police she had heard screams earlier that night, but assumed it was only children playing outside. Another witness claimed he saw two men walking with a young girl shortly before midnight. The girl appeared weak, barely able to walk. Hours later, the same witness reported seeing a dark, two-tone Buick speeding away from the area. Inside the vehicle, a young girl sat slumped silently between two men. Police were never able to identify the car, and the witness account only deepened the mystery. Today, many people ask the same question: how could someone vanish so completely? But in 1953, forensic science was extremely limited. There was no DNA testing, no surveillance cameras, no mobile phone records, no national criminal database. Investigators relied almost entirely on blood typing, shoe prints, fingerprints, and witness testimony. Police interviewed thousands of people during the investigation. At one point, authorities even considered giving lie detector tests to nearly 2,000 students and faculty members connected to the area. But every lead collapsed. Every suspect was cleared. And slowly, the investigation began to fade. Over the decades, many theories emerged. Some believed Evelyn had been specifically targeted. Others believed burglars entered the neighborhood during the football game and unexpectedly encountered her inside the house. Years later, serial killer Ed Gein became linked to the investigation after reports claimed he had been visiting relatives only blocks away that same night. But no evidence ever connected him to the crime. Then another disturbing theory surfaced decades later. An old audio recording allegedly captured a drunken confession during a bar conversation in 1969. The men connected to the recording were already dead by the time investigators discovered the tape. Nothing could ever be proven. And once again, the trail went cold. Evelyn's parents spent the rest of their lives searching for answers, waiting, hoping, praying. But the truth never came. Her body was never found. No one was ever arrested. No one was ever charged. And over time, the mystery became one of America's most haunting cold cases. More than 70 years later, the disappearance of Evelyn Hartley remains unsolved. A teenage babysitter, a quiet Wisconsin neighborhood, a bloody handprint on a garage wall, and a mystery that still haunts America to this day.